What is up, everyone? I came on early. Saw quite a few people were waiting for us to join, so kind of let a couple people get in the group. For those that are new here or you're watching, we're here every Monday at 8 o'clock East Coast time. And basically on here to get everyone in one forum, basically a lot of our customers chatting about parts, what they're wanting to do with their builds, what parts they think they need to go to next and order up next. And so this is why we do it every week. I like to be very open and honest, and this is the perfect platform for it. What's up, dude? Hope the car's running good. So yeah, we'll just kind of usually a lot of people start rolling in. I said 8 o'clock, but I saw quite a few people in here, so figure we would get on. And I'll probably wait to start answering questions on the PRL stuff at 8 o'clock if people are planning to get on then. So if you guys have questions on anything, just go ahead and ask. This is my home office, so don't mind all the toys and stuff in the background. Oh, nice. So after this, you'll be testing. Well, let me know tomorrow how it goes. Like I said, it's probably the Venturi hoses are swapped around. At least that's the only thing I can really think of, since it's pretty much just bolt on and off. So yeah, we'll wait a little bit. I know there's a lot of people starting to roll in here. So go ahead and shoot a comment in the comment box. If you're looking for parts, you have any questions, wanting to find out information. I don't know everything, but we can give some knowledge on stuff out there. The MHI turbo on, I'm assuming, a Accord RDX or TLX. You need the PRL inlet install kit. That basically changes out the water coolant lines on the turbo, as the Type R ones are sized different than the Accord RDX and TLX. So you need that kit, which we sell, and then we sell the gasket kit. It comes with all the gaskets, nuts for the turbo. You can kind of get the gaskets yourself from Honda if you want to save money. It's just nice getting one full kit. But if, like, say you're trying to get like the titanium bolts that RV6 sell, so you don't want to like double pay, so there's ways to do it. But yeah, that's basically what you need. And then obviously if you're swapping the turbo, you need an aftermarket Type R downpipe, because the O2 sensor gets moved from the turbo to the downpipe, and then you should have an intercooler. The HVI, no, this is for the Type R. But we can talk about any parts. I just kind of put it on there because it was released today from PRL. And I know a lot of people have been talking about it. We've got tons and tons of orders for them already today. So, but if you want to talk about the 1.5 turbo intake, more than happy. I've got tons of those in stock. We've got the inlet pipes in stock finally for the 1.5 from PRL. Still waiting on ours to ship. Moving the business and that kind of pushed some of our stuff out. So I have a couple people waiting for orders on that stuff. Hopefully we can start showing you these done, powder coated, and on the market finally, and get some information out there for people that have been waiting to see how they turned out. So, but yeah, I like to get everyone in here answering questions and get everyone talking. People are new to the channel. I'm Mike. I'm the owner of Axion Industries. We specialize only in Acura and Honda products. I don't sell anything else, even though I have tons of knowledge on Subaru and Mitsubishi from past years' experience. We are a only Honda and Acura shop. So I don't like to be like some of those other businesses out there that literally sell everything that can be possibly made for every single car. We like to give our guidance and knowledge from working on Hondas for over the past 30 something years and bring it to you guys. So, yep. Yeah, the MHI Stage 2 works with the Accord. You just need the inlet install kit, gasket kit, and a downpipe, basically. I've actually got a video. If you go in our videos section, we actually put the turbo on our shop RDX. Did this, I'm thinking 3 years ago now, 2 to 3 years ago. And I have a step-by-step install guide for what you need. So, yep. Oh, well, PRL already make an HVI for the Accord, so you don't need the Type R one. It's basically just meant for the FL5 and DE5, Integra and Type R. And the other thing is the Type R math sensor is completely different than the Accord. So none of the Accord math housings work with Type R stuff, as all the Type R electronics are all Bosch. So, which is one reason why you don't swap a Type R motor into a 10th or 11th gen Civic. You swap the Accord motor. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I think I remember that car at I think it's SEMA. I mean, there's ways to make a Type R motor work on the car. It's just, it's not going to work with your standard harness. Yeah, I should have a video in the next month about our K20 swap 11th gen and show you guys the engine in the car. I may actually throw a bolt-on turbo on the engine and the PRL titanium inlet just to show you it all as if it's semi-done. It's not what we're going to be doing to the car in any way, shape, or form, but I at least want to get the information out there for people wanting to do the swap, as we're going to be offering a somewhat 95% kit that you guys can purchase all the parts. So you don't have to hunt everything down. We handle it all, and all you find is the motor and trans, and you're good to go. And then you need some fab work, but that's about it. But yeah, so yeah, keep the questions coming. We've already got a lot of people in here right now. Well, for what we usually have, usually I average about 5 to 12 people a week. But this early in the conversation is pretty good since it just turned 8 o'clock. So yeah. I never got it to the track. We actually ended up getting a really good deal on a house and jumped on it during Christmas, since there's very little inventory and a lot of people are not really trying to sell houses during Christmas, and literally bought the house and moved a month later. So trying to pack an entire house and pack a business, and everything was pretty stressful. And but yeah, did all that in December, and then drove out to North Carolina in early January. So been here now for just over a month. So finally getting settled. Most of our parts are starting to arrive here. We still have our small warehouse in Arizona, so a lot of stuff ships from there, or we drop ship certain things from different companies depending on what the part is. Some companies right now, like if you're getting something from PRL and you've ordered it from us, it's about a 24 to 48 hour like shipping transaction time. So they're really, obviously all businesses are really busy this month, next month, April and May, because of tax season. So some stuff takes a little longer to get out, but most of the stuff ships within 24 to 48 hours. Yeah, thanks. I'm still working on some stuff. Stuff kind of slips through the cracks. It's hard to monitor over 2,000 products and make sure they go everywhere they go. My wife actually was responsible for the new website, and yeah, and I think it turned out fantastic. She started working on it in August, and we got it running in December. So she went through all 2,000 parts and changed all the descriptions by hand. So it was a lot easier to read, as a lot of companies don't really have good skills on laying out all the information. They kind of stay a little long-winded on some stuff, which I don't feel a lot of customers need certain information about. So yeah. Um, I think on the SI, yes, I do, because it is pretty restrictive. However, on the stock turbo, you're not going to get much gains, but you will on the larger turbo. And the sound changes quite a bit also. So that's the one things I usually notice is the sound is a lot louder, and you get a different type of sound because it's metal versus plastic. Yeah, there was some good things about the old ones, but I love one problem that we had with the old website was nobody was getting tracking numbers at all. I wasn't even getting emails from the company that ran the site, which is Big Commerce. I didn't even get emails saying I even had orders. And that had been about for the last year and a half. And my wife is in IT and cybersecurity and has worked along with Bill Gates at Microsoft and has been in that industry for 30 something years. She saw a couple areas where she thought it could be a little better and make it a little easier for people having a better shopping experience. And we're still doing a lot of changes with the business. We have this business and we're starting another couple other businesses. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. There's going to be some more changes coming to Axion, better stuff. Obviously we're still a small business, so, we don't have funds like some of the larger companies. The next thing is building this kind of custom shop warehouse that we want to build, which is happening this year, to have kind of all our cars under one roof and have product. So I don't have to rent storage facilities in both states. So yeah, so if you have questions, shoot them. I'll kind of get through them as everyone kind of starts rambling down some stuff. So let's see, flex fuel or methanol injection. I have a E86 gas station. You got to let me know what car it is first, because that changes everything. But I'm assuming from the conversation it's the Accord. So Accord, RDX, and TLX. I'll just answer it for all three because they all are exactly the same results. Flex fuel should always be first, especially if you have a flex fuel station, and get the PRL flex fuel kit. Basically, you're going to gain about 30 wheel horsepower, 30-40 torque roughly over your current setup. That's pretty much just changing the gas. That's not even tuning it and getting into other parameters. You cannot run E85 on the Accord. The fuel system is too small. You'll basically just be pumping more fuel and making less power. So because of the fuel restriction, you actually have to blend your E85 with 91 or 93 octane to get it around E30 blend is what they call it. And there's calculators online to do this. So you just figure out size of your gas tank, how much 91 you add, how much E85, and then you get E30. You want to monitor this because a lot of gas stations will say they have E85 and maybe it's E70 or whatever. It can throw off the tune. We ran E30 on ours. With the MHI E30 without meth, you're looking at like 410, 420 wheel horsepower, and around 400 torque. Then you would want to do methanol beyond that. I'm only saying that because flex fuel is so much easier to tune wise. Methanol, or if you convert into the split second port injection, it's kind of a way of doing it, but it's not the right way, but it's the only way to add fuel to these cars. I would prefer meth. That'll get you around 480, 490, 500 wheel. And then you can start playing with stuff and upping the boost. Andy Klein, he has the world's fastest 6-speed Accord. He's one of our customers. He, I think, is running about 37, 38 pounds of boost on his MHI stage 2 and has for several years. He runs 11.6, I think, in the quarter. Still OEM block. I think the trans, he changed 1 or 2 gears. And then Alex Gleach, who's another one of our customers, he OEM motor, OEM 10-speed auto, he runs 11.1. So they're on a flex fuel and methanol setup. I haven't checked with the short ram. PRL say it only works with the HVI. I'm not sure why that would be, considering they both pretty much fit up to the same kind of location. I think it's more due to the box and the coupler that comes with the titanium is made to fit exactly where the HVI intake is. Whereas the short ram, it kind of sits a little different. You can probably make the short ram work. It just might not sit inside their little heat shield. But it'll definitely bolt on to the inlet pipe. If you guys look at our RDX, we basically did that. We basically just took the MAF housing, put it on their titanium pipe, and ran open base. So flex fuel on a 10th gen SI is huge. It's about 40 wheel horsepower and about 60 torque. When we tuned our 11th gen, which I know you have a 10th gen, but they're the same thing. We had a Sport Touring, which has a smaller turbo than the SI, so it's not as big a gains, but I'm trying to remember. I think it was 270 wheel horsepower and 300 torque. Most of the SI guys with the 11 gens are getting around 270 wheel and 340 torque with flex fuel, and that's tuned. So I got to check on Venturi. I mean, they come from the UK, so sometimes they take a little bit of time. If you have an order, I think I know who you might be, because I have one guy waiting on an Venturi right now. I can check on it tomorrow and just email us. Easiest way. No, I don't sell 27.1. They will not sell to us for some reason. So I think they just have two companies they want to basically just give preferential treatment to, and they basically get all the orders, and so we don't sell their stuff. I had a kind of interview, which was a little awkward, with one of the guys from 27.1 wanting to hear about my business and said he would be in touch, and I have never heard from them since. So I'm just assuming that there was no interest at all. So I don't think we'll ever sell 27.1 products. So I still support PRL. I'm as far as I know, we are the longest running PRL dealer in the United States in the world. Pretty sure we were the first company, as PRL got their start with the 9th gen Civic. That's what we had. So we used to sell a ton of PRL stuff for the 9th gen, actually more than PRL used to sell, which is kind of funny. I actually got like one of my things here that I keep in here. I don't know if you guys can see. So dealer of the year. I know a couple companies got these, but it's special to me since we've been selling PRL stuff for 11 years now. All a bunch of good guys. I know they've changed a lot of things, and a lot of people out there have kind of talked bad about their products. I still think their products are fantastic. They work really good with modifying, tuning. Quality is there. I know some people have talked about some of the quality lately. I haven't seen it, but I do know how picky some people are when it comes to detail on some of these cars. But yeah, I'm a PRL dealer, and very proud of still offering their stuff. I think that's probably the #1 product we actually sell at Axion. No, thermal coating is not the same as powder coating. Thermal coating has different stuff in it, and heat barriers, and it's heat related. Powder coat's just basically paint that just doesn't come off. So it's just baked on. Well, yeah, PRL are a massive company, and they've gone through a lot of changes. So, I mean, tons of companies have back orders. I mean, I waited 2 years on Greta exhausts 2 years ago. I mean, there was a time and point when waiting a year for a part was pretty normal, to be quite honest. And back orders, the things people don't understand is Honda right now have made 14,000 Type Rs. And most companies that are making these intakes maybe in batches of 500, maybe at most. Imagine 14,000 people trying to order intakes within the lifespan of 1 year. It's hard to keep up on making product. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. There's lead times. A typical lead time on a product, this is most likely in any industry, is 2 to 3 months. That's if there's no issues. And so, you also have the Integra Type S also, which is out there. So the FK, I have to check the numbers. There's over 45,000 FK8s from what I remember. Let's see. Yeah, there's over 47,000 FK8 Type R sold, and 20,000 of those are in the US. And I did see on the FL5 group the other day, someone posted like their placard from their new FL5, and it showed number 14,000. I love the Type R, but it's honestly an overproduced car. It's not what it used to be. I think it's fantastic, and it's an amazing car, but people spending 20,000 over sticker are completely ridiculous, to be honest. If there was only 2,000 made in the world, or 5,000, then I could understand getting 20,000 over sticker, but it is a mass-produced car. And I think by the end, the FL5 will probably have 50,000 Type Rs made. Now, I hope it's not that many, but we'll see. I do think the Integra Type S is going to have a lot more limited numbers than the FL5. Yeah, just email us on the Venturi intake. I'll have to check on it tomorrow because it's coming from the UK. Most of all, it depends on what sway bar you get on the 11th gen. I'd have to look on that, honestly. We don't run a sway bar on our cars. I deleted both of them. All our customers that are installing sway bars, it's just a bolt on and off process. There's nothing else you need. I've got the inlets in stock, and I've got a ton of rear motor mounts from Hasport sitting on the shelves ready to go. So best thing to do, rear camber. It depends on the year. I love the RV6 on the newer cars, but it only works on the Civics and Integra. I think if I was getting another camber kit, the SPCs are probably my best seller. They don't look the prettiest. They're just a steel design, but none of them fail ever. So what's up, Harry? Yeah, I think I saw you posted in a couple of groups online about the product documents, I think. I don't know. I deal with so many people in a day. It's hard to keep an eye on people, and everyone has different names from Instagram to Facebook to YouTube. So yeah, most of all the rear sway bar stuff is just literally bolt on and off. It is advised to get the end links. I definitely like those. The RV6 ones are really nice. Eibach make a nice set. Whiteline are another good ones. Yeah, Skunk 2. I've always liked the Skunk 2 product, but I have seen people that have had them fail. SBC, so you guys know, SBC and Eibach are the same when it comes to the aluminum ones. Eibachs are a little prettier. They're a black color, and then the SBC's one, if you get the aluminum ones, they're like a gray color. So, yep. But yeah, thanks for everyone tuning in tonight. Man, this is cool. I love getting everyone in here talking about parts. That's why we do it. Get all the information out there. Yeah, so the PRL Type R intake one on sale today, just so you guys know. Shipping time, it's due to ship in mid-April. Don't be set on those dates because it's a production run. So we'll see how it turns out. But I like the design. I like the look. I think it'll be cool for them. And like I said, we sold a bunch today. So I love the new location. It's cool. Definitely different, growing up on the West Coast most of my life. I've always wanted to live on the East Coast. There's a lot of different changes, but no, it's good. I miss Arizona, just especially living up in the desert. It's just super cool, beautiful weather every day, but the weather here has been amazing, so I can't complain. Let's see. Clutches. The comp ones and ACTs work just as good. The only thing that a lot of people don't like is they have a heavier pedal feel. So that's why a lot of people go with the RV6 because it keeps that OEM pedal feel. So, but like I said, I've sold a ton of competition. Stage 2s, plenty. And ACTs are decent. When these came out, they weren't as good. They were using different clutches, and there was a lot of issues within the first couple of years with the 10th Gen SI guys. The pressure plate hitting, like the bell housing and everything going wrong with them. And finally, I think most of them are all figured out now. But where do I get my Excetis? Well, from Exceti. If I ship it from RV6, I usually just get the Excetis from RV6. I can get them from at least 6 different companies beyond getting them from Exceti. Yeah, the ACTs in that, they have a heavy pressure plate, so you're going to have that. If you like that style of clutch, then, go with it. But I enjoyed my Type R Retro in my car. I still have it for sale, but it's on our engine back in Arizona. So I might be taking it off and selling it, but it's one of E-Man's special ones. So it's not cheap. And I might just sell it with our engine. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure right now. I think it was like 340, 330 wheel, and kept around like 300 torque. Is the highest right now on 11th gen. You're not going to see higher because number one, the motor is just going to go at this point beyond that, and the fuel system. But the reason ours didn't do as much power as the SI is because the ECU does not allow as much fuel injector pressure on the sport touring ECUs. So I had already swapped out our whole custom fuel system, but the ECU just did not want to give us more fuel pressure. So I was kind of stuck with the numbers we got. So that's the other difference on the SI versus sport touring. So, and I was on 108 race gas when we did mine. Oh, motor swap recommendation for a 2020 Tahoe. Well, dude, Honda K-Series. You got to K-swap the Tahoe. Yeah, you should definitely get 4 bars. You need 2 of them. There's one located on the intercooler piping and one on the intake manifold. Unlike the older cars that only had one. Yeah, it just really depends on how much boost you're wanting to run, but you're better off just getting them and getting it done. Yeah, guys, if you're in here right now, make sure to do a little thumbs up on the video. I appreciate it. Monday nights have gotten pretty busy with the channel, so it's a busy day already. Mondays are probably my busiest day, just because of all the orders that come through the weekend too. So it's only going to add a few horsepower. I mean, the one thing is the transition from the exhaust, from the downpipe to the exhaust. It usually tapers down about 2.5. So the nice thing is with the downpipe and the front pipe, you get 3-inch all the way through. Oh, cool, Andy, you're here. We've just been chatting. But yeah, I mean, the front pipe's definitely worth it. I don't think you're going to notice like butt horsepower gains in the driver's seat, but it does give a little bit different sound. Yeah, if you're going to run flex fuel, you need a new clutch. So do not go flex fuel if you haven't upgraded the clutch. That is my recommendation. 10th and 11th gen, no, they don't differ at all. Pretty much identical, to be quite honest, as far as power goes. I think the 11th gen motor is going to hold power longer than the 10th gen because of the new design with the rods. There's just more bearing material at the crank. But yeah, they're going to make about the same power gains. I sell so pretty much all the map sensors that are used in the newer Hondas are all basically the 9th gen Civic Si K series map sensors. I sell Hondata, Skunk 2, and K-tuned. I recommend just the Hondata. I don't sell 27.1. I'm already on the East Coast, Frankie, in North Carolina right now. Move is all done. I just have to move the cars now, but that'll be later this year. Oh God, the talk about turbo in the K20 C2. I mean, well, I'm sure it fits. I mean, they're all K series blocks. I mean, I just don't know why you just wouldn't swap a K20 C4 in the car. I don't even know why anyone would want to build up a K20 C2. I don't know. I don't really talk to anyone from Relentless anymore. I mean, I follow people on Facebook. I have 2 Facebooks, so I don't even know who this is at this point. But yeah, I mean, I don't really keep in touch with a lot of people. Most people kind of drift away, as people will find as you get older. 10-speed auto torque horsepower limit. You ready for this? 500 wheel, 500 torque. You could probably get more, but it's going to start slipping. But Alex Gleach has the record, 11.1 in the quarter mile with his 10-speed auto. So yeah, around the 500 wheel torque area is where you're going to have problems with the 10-speed auto. Just keep changing that fluid. That's the number one thing with those. Or just do what Andy has and go 6-speed and build the shit out of it, and then, you know, hopefully run a 10 this year. So if you guys are new to the channel, I see a bunch of new people in here. Thanks for joining. We get in here just to ask questions and talk Honda parts and kind of promote my business and other companies out there. So go ahead and ask a comment. We're here every Monday. Yeah, I mean, when you get up to that 480 torque range in the Accord, you're just asking for anything to go wrong with the transmission. Yep. That's why you can just swap in a Type R trans. Events on the West Coast, probably never. I refuse to go to California with any car at this point. I lived there for a long time. I got out. I would never drive a car into California ever again that's modified. It's just not worth it. Since how many years ago was that? 23 years ago, I got a referee station ticket in California for my Subaru. Long time ago, before they were even strict like they are now, and it was a complete nightmare. And I wouldn't want to live in a state that dictates something that I'm so proud of, which is modifying a car. So not to get political or anything, but yeah, I mean, there's only really one good Honda event in California, and that's basically the iBox show, and it's okay. But it's kind of far to drive from from here out there or fly. So, I mean, considering, California was like the heyday for all the best import races, and now they're just completely all gone from there. It's just crazy to me. But yeah, East Coast over here. Hopefully, hit up some events. This year's still going to be up in the air. I'm still trying to get the 11th gen done and then get it to the track, hopefully by the end of the year, but we know how that goes. So yeah, 400 torque, you won't have an issue. I ran that on our RDX and did nasty little all-wheel drive launches all the time and never had an issue. Yeah, I actually, so a lot of, people probably think I'm in my 30s. I'm actually almost 50. I grew up going to the races alongside like Lisa Kubo, Miles Bautista, Dr. Charles, who works at Skunk 2. Like when I used to go to the street races, like those dudes would be there racing. And then it started becoming like a full legit sport, I still have like all my old like DVDs from back then, like Hot Import Nights and IDRC, all those, all those crazy events, back when like the fastest Honda was running 11.5s. Yeah, I definitely say like it's kind of weird. The West Coast has really turned into more autocross type racing now in the Honda community, and the East Coast is all about drag racing. So yeah, I don't know why that is, considering California pretty much started drag racing in Pomona. But my favorite oil is Torco. I've ran that for almost 30 years. A small, decently small company in California. They pretty much, their oil's used in most of all the fastest Hondas in the import scene. So yeah, it's weird how all these states are changing. Arizona used to be pretty good now, and like they're closing all the tracks. That's part of why I left too. Just everyone kind of grows up, and I think that's, a lot of people like to drag race when they're younger. And then some people get into like the autocross stuff and more of the track racing as they get older. I don't know. I've had a lot of cars that are both, but I just prefer drag racing for some reason. Yep. Always going to support Torco. Pretty much all the fastest Hondas run Torco. So yeah, all the old Pomona races and Ontario street races. Oh my God. If you guys don't know, Ontario, California was like some of the best street racing back in the day. That and Compton was really good. And then Long Beach was good. But it just got to the point where it just got ridiculous to go out every weekend and go street racing. So, yep. And then I think there used to be some good street racing up in the valley in San Fernando, but yep. Code 20. Who are you, by the way? Because I don't even know. I can't see who people are on here. Yeah, I actually was at the bust in Ontario back in, I don't even know, probably like the early 2000s, when they had like 20 school buses show up, and they basically impounded like 600 cars and arrested like 1,200 people. And that was like really like the crackdown of like Ontario street racing was that event. And I think like 15 of my friends got arrested that night. And yeah, it was luckily I didn't go. Usually I used to go down there. I used to have an orange BMW back in the day with an M3 swap that nobody knew about. And a lot of people didn't want to race me back then because, back then it was actually pretty quick. Now I look at it and I'm like, man, that thing was slow. But yep. Yeah, it's amazing how things have changed, though. Yeah, but if you guys have joined the chat, thanks for joining. We're here every Monday. I try to pop on to answer questions. So go ahead and ask them in the comments. We'll probably be here for another 15 minutes or so. We try to keep around 30 to 45, depending on how many questions are coming in. So yeah. Oh yeah. Well, those are some of my Funko Pop stuff. And then, sorry, this is like backwards from where I'm looking. Some Lego stuff, different 80s toys that I just have. And then my vinyl record collection, because I'm a huge music guy. Yeah, I don't think I would go to any street races in California anymore. Yeah, I remember, I think one of the last races I was at was in Ontario, and like 3 dudes got ran over by a car and killed, and a couple dudes got shot. And I was like, I'm not for this anymore. It's not worth it. And plus, the racing just got so lame. It was always all the slow cars were out there racing. And honestly, the Hemet races actually got really good for a while. And I used to go there and street race a long time ago. Yeah, you need to run 5W30 if you're going to change out the turbo. That's with Type R or the 1.5 guys. Don't run the 0W20. That shit's garbage. Definitely run the thicker oil. Yeah, sideshows are a complete joke. I'm so against that shit. Completely ruining the scene. But I've noticed, like, when you're on Instagram or Facebook, you don't see a lot of videos of sideshow stuff. At least I don't anymore. Thank God, because I hate watching that crap. I mean, the government just needs to crack down and make it, if you are out there, attempted murder. You're trying to run people over. Oh, nice. Cool. Awesome, man. Well, enjoy the sounds of the MHI Stage 2. It's the best turbo you can put on there. And once you get it tuned, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's such a blast to drive the RDX with 400. I just use Torco MTF in mine. Sometimes I'll blend the RTF a little bit with the MTF. I've had good results on that in a lot of the K-Series transmissions. But I just use good old Torco. K-Tuner Honda. In the newer cars, K-Tuner all day. Type R Honda have a little bit more going on now with the Type R stuff, so I would recommend Honda for the Type R. 1.5, 10th gen Civic 1.5, 11th gen Accord TLX K-Tuner. Hands down, 10 times better. It's less money, better features, safer. There's things that Honda haven't addressed in the ECU stuff that is just not safe. And, when people see these 1.5s blowing up, go look at what tuning software is on there. So, I mean, things can happen on dynos, but I just, like I've commented on several videos, I'm so over these videos of people being like, oh, my 1.5 turbo blew. And they don't go into all the detail of why it blew. And it really gives the engine a bad rep. So people like us and Derek at IMW have to correct people all the time because they're worried about tuning these things or doing things to them. All right, let's see. A couple more things. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's the way to go. I mean, that's the nice thing about the e-tuning. Literally reach out to Derek like a week and a half, tell him what you got, pay for the service. He'll send you the file, upload it, do your install, and you can drive the car just like nothing happened. So I definitely recommend that process with him. I've done it with pretty much several of the cars that I've done. So, yep. So, yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah, I remember the old days. It's a long time ago. Yeah, I just, I was one of the first people that actually was online supporting K-Tuner a long time ago. And a lot of people were like, do not run that shit on your car. And then all of a sudden the 10th gen came out and it was like, everyone's got to get K-Tuner. Everyone's got to get K-Tuner, I don't know. I'm probably a little bit too loyal for being a company, but that's just how I'm run. So you'll see me a lot of times supporting certain companies that I agree with their parts and swear by their parts over certain companies. So yeah, I will tell you right now, you could probably go through 10 27.1 Curos before an MHI turbo will go out. Just saying. The MHI is a fantastic turbo, and if Andy is still in the chat, he can be one of the ones that's my guys that has ran that thing into the ground and it still is going. And you can't beat it. It's basically an OEM style manufactured turbo. Yeah. Yeah, I said it a long time ago and people doubted me. I threw it on RRDX and it's fantastic. And now that we figured out through years of all this stuff and with tuning stuff with the Accord in that, it's the best turbo that you can put on it because of the fuel system and everything around it. Now, if it's going on a Type R, then that's a whole different equation because there's a whole fuel system upgrade stuff. And then you get into the bigger turbos, which then kind of makes sense. But with the Accord in that, it is, and the RDX, it's perfect. Yeah, you get that nice whistle when you start coming on to boost with the MHI. It sounds great. Yeah, I don't know with the SI why it kind of ran into the ground. I think they had, honestly, I think I remember because someone ordered one from me. I think MHI pulled the turbo because they were having issues with them. And they were supposed to redo them and bring out a new turbo, and I don't know what happened with that. So, yeah, but they work great for the 2.0. That's all I can say. And we push them all the time. You're usually always in stock. The OEM Type R turbos are pretty good on the Accords, but I just think having all that extra room with the MHI turbo when you get bored of 370 wheel horsepower is kind of nice to have. So, yep. So there you go, guys. Andy Klein on there. If you want, go follow him. His Instagram. He's got the world's fastest 10th gen 6-speeds. He'll be changing out that turbo here in a month or so. But go follow him. Go follow his channel. He's a huge supporter of us and has been a customer of ours for over 10 years. So, yeah, the 11th gen, I mean, we have the RV6. You've got the 271. And then PRL are still working on their turbo, by the way. I talked to Dennis, and he confirmed that they still have the 1.5 turbo being worked on. So we might see it sometime this year, hopefully. The main thing I want to get is some 11th gen rods out by Sanes so people can start building up these blocks and hitting 400 horsepower. Oh, man. So, yeah, if you guys want, you can head over to our site. It's tax season, time to buy. Got tons of good deals. Haven't heard of any tax sales going on this year. I don't know if that'll happen. Usually they don't. Some companies do a 5% off or 10% off, but we'll post up about it if we have anything going. Yeah, I'm going to drop another episode this week on our K-Series 11th gen swap. We installed the mounts on the car, show you the difference between 1.5 mounts and the Type R ones. So that video will launch Wednesday. So make sure and check it out. With the move in that, it's been tough posting videos lately, so some of our numbers are down a little bit on video watching. So hopefully you guys will go on there and watch them. Favorite shift knob for me is the Acuity Esco. I just like the feel. I don't like the round balls. I feel like it's easy to just push your hand through and miss a shift. And I like the insulated knob because obviously I lived in Arizona. It gets hot. So coming out to the car and just putting your hand on the knob and going is kind of a nice thing. So that's my favorite. They weren't available for a long time, and finally they've got them back out. So they offer in white and black. But I've got that knob on, I think, 3 of my cars. So huge Acuity fan. They hopefully will have their shifter coming out sometime soon. Yeah, it really just depends on what you like. I tried running one of the ball ones, and it's just not my thing. I guess I like more of the shaft. You know, I don't know. Probably shouldn't have said that, but. Yeah, my humor comes out sometimes. Yeah, we'll see. I'm definitely like people that follow the 11th gen. I installed the 10th gen Civic shifter on our 11th gen. Takes cutting and some drilling. I'll be taking that out and putting the 11th gen one back in when we're all done. Just because I wanted to get it in the car and fit it in there, and I like the look with the base. We actually powder coated the factory base since our car is gutted. So hopefully I can get a word from Acuity sometime soon when they're going to have that launch. And I know they're still testing it with people. They like to get a lot of driving time in with these so they don't run into any issues. So they're not trying to, throw product out there right away and then have shit go wrong. Turbo blankets, nope, just order a PTP. That's the best blanket you could get. Use that on tons of our customers' cars. And I sell shitloads of them all week long. They fit all the stock drop-in turbos, everything you want. They have the turbo blanket, downpipe blanket. It depends on what chassis you have. They do an elbow blanket for some cars. They do a inlet blanket. So, but yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've noticed I didn't even know who they were. I stumbled across them a little while ago, and they seem like they're doing a bunch of stuff. I need to check that out and see. Yeah, I mean, the 1.5 doesn't really have that crazy. I mean, I guess if you're doing a lot of track racing, then you need a baffled oil pan, just because the sloshing in the oil pan on the corners. Cool. Gotta love those Mazda companies, especially the Miata guys. 27.1. Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah, well, I think we might start closing down today. Thanks for everyone that came on here. That was awesome. I think this is probably the best turnout I've seen on here, and the amount of people that actually stayed online. If you have a quick question and want to cram it in at the end here, I can answer it real quick. How long does the smoke burn off from spilled coolant last after the swap? You can just wipe. Shouldn't last long. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out what you did. You probably just spilled it on the block or something when you were taking out the turbos. It's pretty common for all these lines. Just make sure your turbo's not leaking. I always tell people, I had a guy the other day. Well, this was probably a while ago. Yeah, you can just rinse it off and do a little blower down there and get it off. I had a guy the other day that installed the turbo, and he did the kit and everything. I had tons of emails. I think there was something like 250 emails with his install, which we usually don't do, but all of a sudden he sent me a video of the thing running and there's oil going everywhere. He didn't use any gaskets. He's lucky the thing didn't catch on fire. But yeah, it's so easy doing some of these things and leaving things out, especially with the turbos. You need the gaskets in there so your coolant stays in the lines and your oil. It was pretty funny though. Safe torque, it depends on the turbo. Stock turbo 340 is the limit. Big turbo 310. And it also depends on who's tuning and how they know how to tune it for ramping up and how fast it comes on. And it's a lot of other stuff with the tuning, which I tend to go into also on this rant about people talking bad about the 1.5 turbo being a shit engine. So you can tune with Derek at IMW. You won't have an issue. He's probably tuned more 1.5s than anyone in the world. So a quart exhaust that doesn't sound raspy, deep. Yeah, I think thermal is usually pretty good. And sometimes the Borla, but I heard the Borla was a little loud, but I'm not a fan of the look of the Borla one. But yeah, I mean, the main thing is don't run catless if you don't want it raspy. That's one thing. And you want to go 3-inch, definitely. Yep. Yeah, I mean, my RDX, you can listen to the videos on here. It was pretty raspy, but that thing was catless. And I think it had no mufflers on it. It only had a resonator. So yeah, it was a little loud, but it sounded good. Yeah, if you got any quick questions, get them in real quick. I'll stay on for 5 more minutes and answer anything that you guys have. But we'll be back here next Monday. So if you want to write down questions through the week, write them down. White line or progress rear sway bar. Honestly, white line is perfectly fine. Progress is okay. They're all basically the same. Just look at the millimeter size on them. I prefer the RV6 over anything. Especially if you're doing some track racing, it's the best sway bar out there. It's at 26 mil rear. No need to upgrade the front unless you like it upgraded. I would take a look at the RV6, to be honest. Yeah, it's just a pain to get that thing in there because it's a lot bigger than the other ones. But it's pretty straightforward. They work on the Accord and all the 10th and 11th gen Civics. So most of all the suspension stuff is identical. But yeah, I mean, taking that stuff off is pretty simple if you need some room, honestly. I think the one thing when people are trying to install a sway bar is they forget like what way it came out, because you can easily swap it side to side and it's upside down when you put it back in or whatever. So just make sure you watch how you take the stock one out. Yep, that's why I'm on here. Luckily, we're one of those companies that actually has had these vehicles and knows a decent amount of information about. I think that's why sometimes, like, I see people posting up some of these companies that, I know I say this all the time, but like sell Subaru parts because that's what they do. And they're selling Honda parts because they just can, and they don't really know a lot about the platform. So I really recommend you support us or even some of the other companies that are dedicated Honda companies out there. There's a few. I'm not going to mention them because I'm not going to mention my competition, but shop with companies that offer real knowledge on the platform. That's why I've kept our website strictly Honda, because that's what we love. So anyways, no, I'm not getting up to dance. Hello to Russia. I'm assuming you're Russian. Say hi to Tucker. Anyways, guys, we'll be back next Monday. If you want to get on, I'd love it. I'm trying to think if we have anything going on. I don't know. Going to Arizona soon, though. It's like 3 weeks. So we've got some good videos coming from out there, too. Anyways, I will be back. If you guys need a question about parts, reach out, go online, buy, email, whatever you need. Hit me up, Facebook, Instagram. We're here all the time to answer your questions. So appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks again. Make sure to go on, like the videos, do a thumbs up on today's one. There's only 4 on there, and I've seen like 25 people come through here. So there we go. Love it, guys. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week.